It's been a long time coming, but the first 360 exclusive downloadable episode for GTA 4 has finally arrived. We've already said about as much as we're going to about the single-player storyline in Lost and Damned because we don't want to spoil it. But it was only yesterday, after it was made available on retail consoles, that we, or at least I, was able to spend any quality time with the new multiplayer modes. I think it's fair to say that multiplayer content isn't really as important to GTA 4 as it is to a lot of other games, but you would never guess that looking at how much new stuff there is on offer in the Lost and Damned. There are 7 multiplayer modes altogether, and what's really surprising is that some of them are very different to those that launched with the original game. Even if you've downloaded the Lost and Damned, there's a good chance that you haven't gotten around to checking these out yet. So without further ado, here's a rundown of what's waiting for you when you finish playing through Johnny's story. The first thing that you need to do is create an online character for yourself, and this works exactly the same as it does in GTA 4. Except that now, all of your physical appearance and clothing options have a real biker gang feel about them. With that done, your best bet is then probably to check out the requisite deathmatch and team deathmatch options. The deathmatches play out exactly as you'd expect them to, but even they feel kinda different to those in the original game because there are new weapons to play with. There's the assault shotgun, which is a really powerful addition to the arsenal, and then there's a sawed-off shotgun and pipe bombs that you're able to use from the saddle of your motorbike. Liberty City is your oyster. It's a really big space to run around and kill people in. One of my favourite modes right now are the races, and I really like those in GTA 4, but they've really changed it up in Lost and Damned because the races now feel exactly like the old Road Rash games. When you're using bikes, basically everyone has a baseball bat, and using the X and B buttons, you're able to hit people to your left and right, so it's much more visceral than the races in the original GTA 4. Another favourite mode of mine, and one that took me completely by surprise, because looking at the name of it, I didn't really know what it was going to be, is Chopper v Chopper. And whereas most of the modes support 16 players, this one's just 2 people. So it's one of you on a bike, and the other one in a helicopter gunship. And that doesn't sound very fair, but basically the guy on the bike just has to race through checkpoints, and the guy in the chopper has to stop him. When you're on the bike, if the chopper guy gets close, you can use your camera button to kind of get a look from his cockpit and see if he's got you in his sights and that kind of stuff. Basically, you just race through checkpoints, try and, weave in and out of traffic and stuff, make it as difficult for the guy in the chopper as possible to stop you. But if he gets you, you guys flip-flop and you get to be the guy in the gunship.
Great exercise, man.
The only other mode that doesn't support a full 16 players is Club Business. And this is, I gotta say, this is another mode that I'm really enjoying right now. It's basically co-op, and you have 8 of you riding as a gang, and one of you's kind of designated as the leader at random. So then what happens is you get a phone call, and you're given a mission. There's a bunch of different objectives. Like, the best way to play is to roll as a gang. Like, if you just all go your own separate ways and stuff, you're not really getting it. Like, everyone sticks close together, and then, if you're the guy who completes the objective, great, you get cash. But everyone who's close to you when you complete the objective also gets cash. And then when the leader is riding, hopefully he's someone who knows how to play, because for following him and sticking close to him, you get cash just for doing that. And if you're riding in a good formation with him, it's the same as the single player game, where, stay in formation and your health and your bike are both going to regenerate. You're going to get health. If riding as part of a gang doesn't really appeal to you, then the mode for you might be Lone Wolf Biker. And this is like a full 16 players, and at the start of each game, just one player is designated as the Lone Wolf, and everybody else is trying to kill him. So if you're playing as the Lone Wolf, you have to race through checkpoints to earn points and money. And then obviously, you've got up to 15 other players trying to stop you. If one of them manages to stop you, they become the Lone Wolf. They're invincible for 10 seconds or something, and then it all kicks off again. Now the guys who are chasing, they're mostly going to be using, machine guns and shotguns, whatever they can use from the vehicle that they're riding. Most of them are going to be on bikes, but if their bike gets trashed, they might take a car. As the Lone Wolf, your best bet is definitely to stay on the bike because it's a lot more nimble. And the weapons you're going to be using are the pipe bombs, which you just drop behind you, and then your pursuers, ride over them unsuspecting and just get blown up. If you're into team-based modes, then you've got two really good ones to choose from that support 16 players. You've got Witness Protection and you've got Own the City. Witness Protection is probably my favorite of the two. It's a twist on the kind of VIP escort mission type thing. One of you drives a bus that's full of witnesses that need protecting. There you go. And you have to escort them to police stations, and helping you out are a team of guys that are playing as cops. And they're all in their cop cars and they're following you around. You know, they've got the sirens going, all that kind of stuff. And then the opposing team are playing as a biker gang who, you know, really need to kill all of the witnesses. And, you know, the easiest way for them to do that would be to blow up the bus, but the bus is really solid. Like, it's going to take a real long time for them to kill it. So as the bus driver, you're in pretty good shape. But when you pull up outside a police station, the witnesses then have to walk off your bus, maybe across the street or whatever, like to the police station. And during that time, they're really vulnerable. So you really have to work as a team, and, you know, have your cops, you know, either distract the biker gang or just clear the area before you, as the bus driver, you know, make your move and escort these guys to the police station. You start the game with 3 witnesses total, and each one of them has to be escorted to a completely different police station. You know, and the police stations in Liberty City tend to be like miles apart. So to win the game, as the good guys, you have to escort all 3 guys to the police station safely. As the biker gang, you know, you just ruin that for them. Own the City is a variation on the Territories game, and it's kind of similar to the one that was in GTA 4. The difference here is that when you capture one of the half a dozen or so territories that are in the area city that you're playing in, a bunch of NPCs from your gang show up to defend it. And so then, you know, so you don't have to worry about defending all the time. Like, it's unlike the one in GTA 4, you get to play a lot more offense because you've got NPCs who are doing your defense for you. Of course, the NPCs aren't that great. You know, any good players are going to be able to come take out your NPCs pretty easily. One of the kind of interesting twists in this mode is that each gang has a weapons van, and the player can go find the weapons van and then drive it around their own territories, and as you drive past your friendly NPCs, you upgrade their weapons automatically. So they're still not going to be great, they're still not going to really do that well against players, but at least you give them a fighting chance. The only downside of the Lost and Down multiplayer right now, at least based on my experience with it, is that it can be really hard to find the game. You know, player matches are there, ranked matches are there. Either way, I think ranked matches are kind of easier to get into. It can be tough getting into some of the modes if you very specifically want to play one. So yeah, now that you guys know what you're missing, just get online, play these games, and I'll see you there.